Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so grateful that you were here, you guys. Today, really random reading. I'm doing a spread called Your Relationship with Food. So let's get right into this, you guys. So the first question is, what is your current relationship with food? And we get the death card. So your relationship with food has definitely recently changed. For some of us, it's changed in the last few years. For some of it's a lot more recent, or it is changing right now. And maybe this reading is because of it. But yeah, your current relationship with food has been transforming, very transformative. I feel like you've started to actually understand how important what you put into your body is. Because, you know, if you're in North America like us, we kind of eat like shit, you guys. We don't usually eat the healthiest food. I don't know if you guys know that about North America, if you're from here or if you know about it. But yeah, usually the food here is, it's hit or miss. But that goes without saying that, like, you can see in your life, you can make changes in your life and you see what you want to see, all right? Like, you know, there's always healthy options anywhere. And by healthy, it means healthy for the soul. I'm not talking about like people who just eat only, you know, vegetables, or, you know, if you're someone who only eats vegetables, like, good for you. But I am saying that, like, everything is in moderation. And I feel like that's something that we really need to learn. All right. So your current relationship with food, death card, definitely transformative. You've had a very transformative relationship with food. Maybe you had a really bad relationship with food before, and now you're starting to heal it, and you went through some changes. Or maybe there's been a time in your life, specifically for some of you, where it's more of like, okay, this is it. This is the end of the road. I make a change now, or I don't do anything. You know what I mean? And it's important. I feel like we're definitely going through this massive awakening. And because we have so much data on everything now, we have so much knowledge, we have so many resources and studies and everything to say, you know, how bad sugar is for you, how bad whatever is for you. And, you know, everything is okay in moderation. But when most of our food has tons of sugar in it, or if you're like a huge, you know, soda drinker and whatever like that, like, it's important to understand how that's affecting your mental health, because I feel like a lot of problems these days are caused by the food that we eat. Okay, and I grew up and I used to have an iced tea like every day, and I would eat like chocolate a lot. I don't really know when that changed. I think when I started learning a little bit more about fitness, I realized like, oh, like maybe that's affecting my mental health. Like, it's probably not the best for me to do that. But then when you start looking into this stuff, you start realizing, like, you know, a lot of sauces and a lot of other stuff that tastes really good. It's not actually the healthiest for you, but that there are healthier alternatives out there that you can find and you can get. And so what I'm trying to say is, like, your current relationship with food is been transformative. So very recently, or maybe this is where the time where, like, because the death card is symbolized by a butterfly, and what do butterflies do? They eat as a caterpillar, they eat a ton of leaves, and then they go into cocoon, and that's kind of when I see the death card, and then they come out the butterfly. And so right now you're in this cocoon phase where you're learning more about food, and you're learning more about what works for your body and what works for your brain and your mental health, and what's sustainable and what's attainable, and, you know, not going on crazy diets, but more just making subtle changes to your relationship with food, and what you decide to eat is been way more beneficial than going on some crazy extreme diet and then getting burnt out on it, and then, you know, crashing and burning and going back to, you know, unhealthy habits. And so that brings us to the next card. So how we can improve our relationship with food? Well, don't listen to everyone. Okay, don't listen to what everyone says, because everybody's body is different. Everybody's body responds differently. You know, I truly believe that if you thank the food and you're grateful for the food, and you look at the energy that it used to make the food, like, you guys, it sounds so weird, but, like, you know, people who are just such amazing cooks, and you're like, oh my God, but then you try to make the exact same thing using the exact same recipe, and it doesn't taste the same. And you're like, what happened? You know? And what I believe is, like, people who have the gift of, like, cooking, and people who have the gift, you put your energy into that, and if it's positive, loving energy, you're going to be able to taste that. That's like anything, okay? If you guys watch Hunter x Hunter, it's like when you create stuff and you're very refined and you're very good at your craft, and you create, like, say this mug, for example, okay? It took so much energy to make the mug. They really crafted it. Pretend this was like a really nice mug that someone made. You know, they did the pottery, they painted it, hand painted. They put so much love into this mug, right? And then on the show, they have like these abilities or whatever, and you can see like it's glowing with energy around it. So they can see and they see, oh, it's glowing with energy. It must have been made with so much love. And so that's the same with food, right? If you're looking and you taste the energy, you taste it and it tastes really good. It tastes really good and fuel. You know, it's not just something just factory made, which is still good, but it's, you know, it depends on like, yeah, what I'm trying to say is like when people make food and you taste it, you know how like different it tastes. It's like, wow, that's really good. You know, that's why they say like homemade is usually always better, because you can taste the energy in it, right? It's not just made from a machine. And so what I'm trying to say is you can improve your relationship with food by understanding that everybody else is different. When you're scrolling through Instagram, they're like, don't eat that, don't eat this, don't eat those seeds or that seed, or, you know, oh, this is actually so bad for you. And it's like a picture of a fucking watermelon and the strawberry. And you're like, really? I don't know how bad that is for me. You know what I mean? So not paying attention to maybe it works for them and that's good for them, but what works for you is different. You know, what's sustainable for you? You know, maybe you love having donuts. Maybe you love a donut. You're just in love with a donut. Okay. And you're like, I need a donut every day. You're allowed to eat a donut every day, you know, everything in moderation. Okay. Maybe don't eat a whole box of donuts every day, right? But enjoy it and love it, and maybe make your own donut, make a cookie that you're just like in love with, and you put all your love in that cookie, and you say, when I eat this cookie, it's not bad for me. This cookie is going to be good for me. You tell your subconscious that, and your subconscious is like, you're right. This cookie is going to fuel us, you know? And so not feeling shitty about the things that you're eating. Like if you have pizza and you're like, okay, this pizza is really greasy, it's probably not the healthiest for me, and you're eating it and you're like, this is so bad for me, and you're just eating it and you just keep having these thoughts in your head, stop doing that. You can improve your relationship with food by, when you indulge in something, indulge in it and don't feel bad about it. If you ate all the Halloween candy for one night, enjoy it. Say, you know, this chocolate is so good and I love it, and maybe it'll give me a headache later, but who cares? I'm enjoying it right now, and that's all you can do. And don't regret it as you're eating it. Enjoy the hell out of that and thank it for how it tastes, and say, thank you, body, for being able to process all this sugar, or whatever the case may be. But don't feel so bad about it. Don't feel so bad about it. You need to stop feeling bad about that. You know, if you're feeling bad about something, or you can take note afterwards of how it makes you feel. And then maybe you'll say, okay, I'm taking a mental note. You know, this didn't make me feel the best. Maybe next time I'm not going to have a whole box of candy. Maybe I'll just have half, or maybe I'll just have 1 or 2 pieces. You know what I mean? But don't make yourself feel bad when you're indulging in it. Okay. If you want to indulge in something, then indulge in it. All right. But take a note afterwards. You know, do I feel okay? Do I not feel okay? You know, how does this make me feel? And so how can you eat more intuitively? Well, we got the Queen of Cups card. Really focusing on your emotions and focusing on, okay, are you an emotional eater? Are you somebody who likes to indulge in things like, but why don't you get more crafty in it? So I feel like if you, how you can eat more intuitively is by listening to your body and listening to your emotions and saying, you know, what is my body's response to this? What are my emotional response? Because the Queen of Cups is somebody who's very intuitive, right? And she's actually, is she eating something? She's drinking, it looks like she's drinking a tea, right? So, oh my goodness. So it looks like she's drinking a tea, right? And so I feel like she's really enjoying it. She's sitting there with her tea, you know, maybe she added a sugar or a fucking cream to her tea or something like that, but she's sitting there and it looks like she's genuinely enjoying it. And so how you can eat more intuitively is not being addicted to things, not being addicted to sugar or addicted to things that are maybe not the best for, you know, your health, or not the best for whatever your goals are, but more so understanding that you can listen to your body and say, okay, you know, I've been feeling kind of low in energy lately. Maybe I need some vegetables, but, you know, I still want something for dessert. So you're going to have whatever. We'll use the donut example. The donut, maybe that's your donut. Maybe that's your dessert at the end of the day or at the beginning of the day or whatever the case may be. But, you know, limiting it and understanding like, okay, you know, I'm going to have all these vegetables. I'm going to feel good. I'm going to have a lot of variety, you know, and whatever makes you feel good. So remember what I was saying is like, don't feel guilty about eating something when you're indulging in it. But if you constantly feel guilty about the things that you're eating, maybe it's your body telling you something. Maybe your body's saying like, okay, maybe this is not the best for us. So how can you listen to your body then? How can you listen to your intuition when you're eating something, right? And so that's where it's coming in by saying like, listening to your body after you eat something, or when you have these feelings, when you have these emotions, pay attention to that and say, okay, what's this saying? What's this saying? And that's sort of, that's sort of what I'm seeing with the Queen of Cups card there. So how you can fuel your body, we got the Three of Wands. Well, the Three of Wands is actually a really good card. This is about looking kind of at everything that you've manifested lately. And what I mean by that is like, the Ace of Wands would be, you open a business, okay? The Two of Wands is kind of planning for it and ordering your inventory, everything like that, stocking the shop up, okay? And then the Three of Wands is where people are actually buying stuff from the shop, and you're like, oh, okay, I'm actually able to get a little something back from this. Like, this is actually feasible. This is actually good. And so what I'm seeing is like how you can fuel your body is by understanding like, okay, I'm feeling good. Like, I'm feeling good. I feel like this is working for me. I feel like, I feel like your body will tell you things that it needs to have, okay? And if that's going on a 30-day sugar cleanse or whatever to get it out of your system, and then you can start listening to your body, or you know what I mean? Like, there's all these different little things, but like really pay attention to what works for you, all right? Because what works for you is going to be different from what works for me, for what works for somebody else, right? And you can fuel your body by actually looking towards the future and say, okay, if you're a runner, you need to carb up the day before, whatever the case may be. Like, you need to eat like lots of like pastas and all that stuff so that you have the carbs for when you run, right? So you have the energy for when you run. But, if you are doing something else and you need this, or you need meat, or you need fish, or you need eggs, or whatever it is, then you need to plan for your day and say, okay, tomorrow I'm going to have a big day. Maybe tomorrow I'm going to go out and I'm going to eat with my friends. So today I'm going to try to eat really healthy, or I'm going to try to eat stuff that's going to give me energy for tomorrow, so that when tomorrow comes around, I'm going to indulge a little bit more. I'm going to put some of the sauces on. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And so you're kind of planning for it so that when you get to that time, that you're not going to feel guilty by ordering the thing that you want, by ordering the burger with everything on it, by ordering the poutine. You know what I mean? Because I love poutine. I don't have the healthiest diet, but I really do I do the moderation thing, okay? So I really, I do get my vegetables. I do, I try to stay away from sugar. But if there's something there that's homemade, I'm going to eat it. If there's a poutine and I see it on the menu, I'm going to get that, right? And so it's all in moderation, and it's not feeling bad about the things that you eat. And really, I truly believe that when you're eating something that's probably not the healthiest, is not the time for you to say, this is so bad for me, I shouldn't be doing this. No, it's the time for you to be like, you know what? I'm so happy. I love this, and I'm enjoying it, and it's making me feel good, and it's giving me the sensations in my mouth, and I'm really enjoying. And, maybe I will not feel the best later, but that's okay. I'm really enjoying it right now. And so just enjoy the hell out of it. And then when later comes around, you can reflect on that and say, okay, was that enjoyment worth it? Or not. Maybe nothing's going to happen later, and you're just going to say, okay, next time I go out, I'm going to do the exact same thing. Okay, maybe that's going to be next week, or 2 weeks from now, or a month from now. So everything in moderation, but understanding that you don't have to be a crazy, you know what I'm trying to say. Like, food is like, you have to eat only vegetables or whatever. If you always want it to be vegetarian, or if that's something that you are interested in, then be a vegetarian. Like, I always tell people that, like, okay, if you want to be a vegetarian but you don't want to cut out meat, okay, maybe why don't you just eat vegetarian during the week, and on the weekends you can eat meat or whatever. Like, it doesn't need to be all or nothing. You can do whatever it is that you want to do. I hate when people put rules on everything. Everyone's different. If you don't want to eat meat, or if you don't want to eat fish, then you don't eat fish. But if you want to, or maybe when you go out, you don't want to restrict yourself to something, that's okay. That's okay. So I was vegan back in 2015 for like 4 months, you guys. That was crazy. That was like before veganism was like, they had all these substitutes. It was insane. I don't know. And then I had shrimp after that, and I've been pescatarian ever since. And so it's been a long time for me. And so now I'm really used to it. I just don't eat meat. But I remember a little anecdote for you guys. I was at a work, like, they had like a potluck at my old job at the office, and there was this Brussels sprout dish, and I put some on my plate because your boy likes Brussels sprouts. And and then afterwards, my coworkers were looking at me, and they were like, oh my gosh, this has bacon in it. and then they were like, oh my god, it has bacon in it, like what are you gonna do, oh my god, what are you gonna do? And I looked at them and I was like, whatever. Like, I didn't know it had bacon. Also, it's okay. It's not the end of the world for me. You know, I'm not doing it for religious reasons, so it might be different if it was for religious reasons or whatever the case may be. But it's like important to not freak out about that, because it's, what is that in your control? You know what I mean? Like, all I'm trying to say is, like, as long as you're trying, it's fine. And if you want to do something, if you want to eat meat, or if you don't want to eat meat, or whatever the case may be, if you want to eat sugar when you're out, or if you want to eat this or you want to eat that, that's fine. Do what you want to do. Do what works for you. And it doesn't need to be all or nothing. It doesn't need to be all or nothing. All right. And so I just want to leave you guys with something that your body is telling you. And that's the High Priestess card. And so we get 2 of the intuitive cards for here. So it's really saying, it's as the tarot is asking us to be aware of how we're feeling and how the food is affecting our bodies. And you know, why you can have an ongoing chat with Chat GPT and just say, you know, I had this today, I had this today, I had this today. You know, who cares about portions or whatever the case may be, and then you can reflect on it later. And it just gives you so much advice. Like, if you just want to use that as like a whatever, just to see like how you're eating, how you're feeling, what works for you, what doesn't work for you. And it gives you like so many different options, and you can just say, okay, I have these lists of ingredients and I want something sweet, or I want something this, can you whip me up a recipe for something healthy, you know? And so something your body is telling you is to trust your intuition, trust your feelings, okay? Trust what it is that you're doing, okay? And trust what it is where you are going, all right? And understanding that we're all just human, we're all going through this phase of life together, and we all have a different relationship with food, and that's okay. And what works for some people is okay, what works for other people is okay too. And it's really just not beating yourself up about what it is you're eating, how you're eating. And I thought this video would be good after Halloween, because you guys, I don't know how many kids came to your house, but there was a lot of candy left over here. And so yeah, I'm not like a huge fan of sugar candy anymore, but if you stick something savory in front of my face, like veggie burger, poutine, fries, oh my god, you guys, I'm gonna be having all of it and then some afterwards. You know, I'm gonna order 2 actually, because if you bring a coupon, you sometimes get 2. So yeah, that's what I got for you guys today. Trust yourselves. Don't beat yourself up about however your diet is. You know, make yourself aware of how foods interact with your body. Understand that everybody's body is different. Understand that some people have triggers from food for their skin, and so sometimes it's like focusing on that as well. It's like, okay, so for example, my brother, if he has anything with peanuts, he will break out in acne. Okay, so he's really cognizant. He says, okay, I don't like having acne, you know, whatever. Okay, and he doesn't like having acne, so he's just not going to eat peanuts. Okay, but that's something that he chooses to do, something that he gave up because he doesn't like having acne and he doesn't care that much about peanuts, I guess. And that's okay for him, you know what I mean? And so it's understanding how you react with food, but it's also understanding that every time you do eat something, I want you to look at, like, there was a phase in my life a few months ago where every time I ate something, no matter how bad it was for me, I would say, this food is healthy for my body. This is healthy for me, and I am grateful for the energy that it's giving me. Everything I put into my body is healthy. I used to affirm that, you guys. I affirmed that for like 2 months straight. And I don't know exactly what it did, but my relationship with food has changed a lot since then. So, you guys, and also I was looking up something one time, and this guy, he used to eat like shit. He ate like pizza and everything, but he always affirmed, he always said, this food is healthy for my body. This food is every food I put into my body, everything I eat is healthy for me. Okay, and it's like, why can't that be the case? You know what I mean? Like, we all have different genetics. Why can't that be the case? Why can't we tell our subconscious this, and our subconscious listen to it, say, you know what, yeah, that pizza is good for me, I'm gonna eat that, I'm gonna enjoy it, and I'm going to have energy from it, and it's not gonna make me feel like shit. You know what I mean? And so I want you guys to affirm, I want you guys to talk to your relationship with food. I want you to trust yourselves, trust your eating, and enjoy it. You know, we're only on this life, this world, for a little bit. Okay, it's nice to feel good about yourself, feel good in the, you know, in the headspace, in the mental capacity. And it's important to understand how food interacts with our bodies, how it interacts with our minds, how it interacts with our brains and our focus. And you guys, sugar is bad for you, but sugar is okay in moderation. All right, you're not going to be an addict. I don't want you to be an addict, okay? But if you're going to have something, enjoy it and don't feel bad about it. So hope I didn't contradict myself too much during this reading. Yeah, I hope you guys like this reading. There was a few people I was talking to, was a few of my friends. We all had like a bunch of headaches after the Halloween candy binge. So let me know if that was you as well. Thank you so much for being here. I love you guys so much. Thank you. If you made it this far, I appreciate you. I love you so much. I'm going to give you a big kiss. You guys, I make daily videos, which means I'm going to see you tomorrow. So please consider subscribing and like this video. If you like this video, comment down below if you had a headache from all the candy that you ate recently, and I will talk to you soon.